Hello, welcome back to A Year of Miracles with Inner Bloom. Today we are on lesson 265, and that means we're only 100 days away from completing a year of miracles because 365 lessons, 365 days of lessons. So, yeah, we made it far. 265 lessons. It's like, the roller coaster as it goes up, 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 and then you made it over the hill and now you're just on that tail end. You come this far. I was gonna say you can't fail, but that's not necessarily true. We can't fail. That's true. Even if you were to pause, well, if you've come this far, that means that you're really committed to this. It means that you truth will be shown to you, regardless of when or how it happens. So you can't fail. But I know that you've come this far, and I know that this tail end is going to be a breeze. And I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited for all of us. And yeah, you deserve a applause, a pat on the back, whatever, a cupcake, a glass of champagne, a glass of your favorite tea, cup of your favorite tea, whatever feels like celebration to you. This is another wonderful point of celebration, and you should feel really good and proud of yourself. So let's get into the lesson. Lesson 265, creation's gentleness is all I see. So we've talked about how God is God is in everything I see, God is everything, God surrounds me. And so this lesson is a declaration, and you're inviting yourself to be reminded and to be shown that that what God actually created is gentle. It's love. It's powerful, yes, but the powerfulness is in the gentleness of peace, of love, of um wellness. All is well, all is okay, all is abundant. Everything is you, everything is you, everything is yours. All is love, all is peace. I already said all that. Any belief in any thought or belief or interpretation of seeing a world that is challenging, that is hard, that is rough, that is um any of those things that, I want to say grating, rough, um, pokey for some reason. That's not really, but like sharp. I'm picturing a cactus with what's struggling to come out of my mouth is in my mind. There's a picture of a cactus with thorns, so pokey is what came out, so painful. Any of those is just our interpretations. It's just our stories. It's just the illusion. We talked in the very beginning in the first handful of lessons about how it's the perception that is seeing these things, right? It's through the lenses of perception only. That is not what they're actually are. It is not how God actually created this world. So we are inviting ourselves to see creation's gentleness today. We're inviting ourselves to see the true nature of not just ourselves, but of everything. Um, there was a sentence from the actual text that I wanted to share. Ah, because we were talking about the sun and the clouds, right? And so in the text of A Year of Miracles for this lesson or for this declaration, in the first paragraph, sentence 6, it says, "Let no appearance of my sins," meaning the sin is just when we don't see things, when we believe in the illusion, when we believe in the mirage, when we believe in the story. "Let no appearance of my sins," my false perception and belief about the world, "obscure the light of heaven shining on the world." The images I see reflect my thoughts. But what is actually reflected in the world is what is in God's mind. Yet my mind is actually one with God's, and so we can perceive creation as it is in its gentleness. I did paraphrase some of that. So the prayer is, "In quiet would I look upon the world, which but reflects your thoughts, God, and mine as well. Let me remember that they are the same, and I will see creation's gentleness. Sammy?
Thank you. Um, this is like, this is it's not a hard one. I don't want to say it's a hard one, but as women, we have learned to put armor around ourselves, right? We have learned to close ourselves up, like I mentioned earlier, the flower closing the petals and creating a tight bud. Um, this isn't something that the mind is just going to grasp. It's a mind body connection. It's you feeling safe enough to unfurl your petals and invite that softness to rise within you, out of you, and through you, from you, and experience that at the same time. Um, for me, this I'm finding this one quite hard. Um, because it is, isn't it? It's like I'll be like, okay, I'll tell you what's coming through this feels quite hard is that I think so many women don't know how to feel safe. So many women don't know how to be gentle. So for me to explain it in this lesson right now, I'm finding it quite difficult because how do you explain it? It's something you experience, right? Karina's gonna.
Yeah, okay. Um, so the way that I interpret it, and obviously I'm open to whatever your interpretation is, from what you're saying, in a response to what you're saying, is it's not necessarily about us being like gentle. We can be fierce, we can be powerful, but there's not, like we talked about in previous lessons, there's, like you said, women tend to put the shield around them. They tend to protect themselves. We don't need to protect ourselves from anything. Now, people say, well, what about blah, 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 blah. Remember, we're talking about on a spiritual level. We are not dismissing the experience of life. This is for this particular pathway, this particular mode of spiritual learning or spiritual awakening. Um, but the course reminds us that when we fear attack, it is because we are attacking ourselves. When we fear the world outside, when we see the world as dangerous, when we see the world as abrasive, that was the word I was looking for earlier. We see the world as abrasive, when we see the world as rough, it is just reflecting our own beliefs and our own perception. The world is gentle and we get to move through the world in gentleness or in power or whatever, but it doesn't come from a need to close up or protect ourselves or put the armor around ourselves.
I
And
think what. Oh, sorry.
oh, sorry, just one last thing because it came up while you were giving that analogy, because there's a teacher that a lot of, we talked about her before, Rory Ray. She was the person who really brought like feminine energy into the coaching industry in like the late 90s and early 2000s. Um, she uses the analogy that like we move through the world like a cactus. Funny, I brought that up. Like a cactus, women put these move through the world like a cactus with this need for protection with these thorns. And not only does it keep the apparent danger away, but it also keeps the love that we actually desire away, the cherishment we actually desire. And we get to be like a fern. We get to be, these are the analogies that she uses, this beautiful blooming plant that just takes in the gift of water and the gift of sunlight and absorbs it and is just receiving from the world. I know that's not really related to your question, but because it came up
It
with me.
helped.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute. It helped because I just recognized where the stickiness was for me. Because as I allowed you to talk and me to just digest why I was feeling uncomfortable with trying to
Yeah.
articulate it, for me, gentleness isn't something you see. For me is something I feel. Even though, which sounds weird because you can see people being gentle, but it's not something I really allow myself to acknowledge. And actually, that's an invitation for me to see where people are being gentle. For me, I was like, oh, gentleness is something I feel, but actually, I am like, just like I need to invite myself, where are you not seeing it in others? Because we're seeing this world through the harsh, like a harsh lens, or a lens that is fearful or scared. Like, where can we invite ourselves to see like that softness, that gentleness, which sounds weird because those are actually feeling words, right? So that's where I think the disconnect was, because I'm used to trying to feel gentle rather than seeing or acknowledging gentleness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense, and I think that's a great distinction, and also, when we talk about see, it's not like don't take it too literally, it's just meaning what we observe in
Mm,
ourselves and in others, and that observance can happen through feeling, right?
yeah. True. There's no yeah, true. Um, but for me, actually, I think this is a really good lesson because I noticed the block in myself. Like I was like, I can't really get what I'm trying to express out on this. And I think it was my own inner block, not allowing myself, one, to see the gentleness of who I have become and am now, or the gentleness in creation, because I've had this armor on and had to, you know, not we believe that we have to prepare for the worst or protect ourselves. And so, what a beautiful lesson that actually we can allow ourselves to see gentleness rather than, judgment, fear, or the things that we might normally seek or look for in the outside world. And actually, now I'm going to go about today, especially as this is the last one for recording us, I'm going to be like looking for like gentleness. I think it's a really nice opportunity to do something that for personally, I've never allowed myself to do before. And it's not
Yeah.
something you would ever think to do, is it?
No, and you can even utilize Rory Ray's tools. Anyone in here watching this, I think it's a great tool to utilize. You can pause and experiment and imagine yourself as the prickly cactus and what it means to move through the world and interact with people and how it simultaneously feels like protection but keeps everything we actually desire away. And then shift but before you shift into the fern, recognize the old way of being, what it feels like. Actually sink into imagining yourself being the cactus and then shift um into the fern and imagine yourself moving through the world as the fern and taking all the beautiful not taking but receiving all the beautiful gifts that the world and life has to offer you, being watered by the world, being shown upon both by the sunlight of the world, being given nutrients and life from the world. And I feel like that could also help shift people seeing the world as dangerous and separate and start seeing it as a beautiful, gentle place that one can continue to receive from in a loving way.
That and what is coming through from me so strongly is I imagine the prickly, like I'm just it's so funny. You're saying about this like cactus, and there's me. I'm like in this like hot chick suit blazer with loads of like spikes sticking out of it. I'm like, I ain't no cactus, I'm a classy cactus. So I'm walking around in this studded suit. But everything around me and everyone is balloons. So
Mm,
I'm not wanting, so I don't know why that visual came through so strongly for me, but it was like, actually, everything is really delicate and gentle, and I'm the one that's sabotaging or causing chaos and creating, bursting my own bubbles, right? Or balloons in this context. So for me, that straight away allowed me to see the gentleness because it's a balloon. I don't want to pop it. I love our analogies today. Where are they coming from?
and I love that, and I love the way that that visual came through for you because we can all think of women who appear really like strong and powerful and maybe rebellious and like, nah, I got this shit, blah blah blah, whatever. And it's really just masking this mushy vulnerableness that they feel inside that they're not comfortable with. Because when we become comfortable with our and this goes into the feminine energy teachings, but when we become comfortable with the vulnerability, we can wear it on the outside without the fear of it being harmed.
I love this. It's so good. I hope you appreciated our analogies over the last couple of lessons. I genuinely think it's because me and Karina were having a chat about Disney. That's where this has all stemmed from. But
We
that's
we're
it
both
from me
in like our yeah, we're both in our like Disney, the merging of the Disney princess and the like Disney villain era. Okay, so I feel complete for this lesson. Sammy, complete. Okay. So then we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.